I of course want free Medicare. And this is why it's important to have free Medicare, because look what's happening right now.
Cardi B sat down with Joe Biden to discuss politics. Now, Cardi B, of course, was a big Bernie Sanders supporter, a supporter in 2016, a supporter in 2020. Now she is discussing the importance of voting in November, but also discussing with Joe Biden what people want, what her fans want, what young people want out of a Biden administration, and what kind of change they want moving away from Donald Trump. So this is, the conversation's about as awkward as you expect it to be. It went about 15 minutes long, though it definitely went a lot longer. There are so many jump cuts in this interview. I lost count. I don't think I've seen so many jump cuts put into an interview. I'm not sure if they were cutting out awkward moments. I'm not sure if they were cutting out just long pauses, but they definitely cut out a lot. And also, according to a recent report from Anna Kasparian at the Young Turks, she also discovered a piece of the interview that was taken out where Joe Biden's essentially kind of saying that Medicare for all should be something that is possible to get done. But let me play for you a clip here. This is an exchange near the beginning of the discussion, but it's kind of representative of how the whole conversation went.
In 2016, if 18 to 23 or 4-year-olds have voted in the same percentage as the rest of the population, we would have had Hillary Clinton, not him. The vote matters. That's why you keep talking to people about the need to vote. The vote matters. It matters a great deal. And so we got to look, the generation, your generation and the young millennials beyond that, they can own this. They can own this outcome. And they can own what happens in the next election. They are the ones that can change things dramatically if they show up and vote. Tell me what your fans most say to you when they communicate with you online. What are they most concerned about?
Obviously, free college education, free Medicare, especially now that, people are just getting sick left to right, left to right.
All right. So during this interview, Cardi B brought up Medicare for all, I believe 3 different times. And each time, Joe Biden had no response. And if he had a response, again, it was cut out of the conversation because it's not in the interview. So Joe Biden asks Cardi B, what do people her age want? What does she want from a Joe Biden administration? She brings up college for all and Medicare for all. Joe Biden's response the entire time, a number of times he brings this up, and you saw it in that clip, was that, young people have to vote. It's important that young people vote. Again, making the mistake of not actually doing anything to get those young people to vote for you, but just demanding they vote for you. Now, I get it. Yes, it is important to vote. And I think it's important to view voting as a tool, as not a representation of, all your hopes and desires, but as how can you best use your vote in this moment? I think it's important to vote, of course. But Joe Biden going on and saying that, or, Cardi B or anybody else just saying, it's important to vote, that's not going to move the numbers that you need to move. What will bring out the people that you need is if you actually attempt to appeal to people that don't normally vote. Because the people that want to vote against Trump are going to vote against Trump regardless of what Joe Biden supports right now. But the people that want something out of a Joe Biden administration, want to feel some hope, they want some promises. They want to see that you actually are going to fight for them. And that will encourage many of those people out to vote. That, again, yes, I think should be voting anyways, but the reality is they're not going to vote unless you do something to attract those voters over. So Medicare for all having around 70% of support right now among all voters and around 85 to 95% of Democratic voters, to still not support that as the Democratic nominee is insane. And let's also be fair, though. If Joe Biden came out today and said, yes, he supports Medicare for all, would you believe him? Because I would not believe him. Which, again, speaks to the importance here of voting based on who you rather fight. Would you rather fight Donald Trump, who throws peaceful protesters in jail into unmarked vans, drives off, doesn't obviously care at all about any of these issues, isn't even making any attempts? I mean, Joe Biden at least had the Joint Policy Task Force, which, yes, I know was largely symbolism, but still, and he brings it up in this interview as well, they have made some moves in his platform with that. He has become a little more, or has moved a little more progressive in some of what he has said. Again, not that we can trust any of it, but he's rhetorically at least trying there. Or would you rather fight Joe Biden, who, again, is already showing that he is somewhat open to these conversations at the very least? And again, even if he's not going to move left, this is the perfect time to dump a giant crisis on the Democratic Party. Think about it. With Trump out of power and Democrats in, there's no more excuses. And if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris just go back to status quo politics, neoliberal politics, and people aren't getting the real financial help they need, aren't getting the health care they need, still are living under mountains of debt, be it student debt, medical debt, it's going to wake a lot of people up who aren't already woken up to the fact that this party largely does not represent people. And we will be able to build a larger movement on the left to fight a Democratic Party, to primary members of Democratic leadership, and also at the same time attempt to build a party from outside the Democratic Party as well, like a People's Party. They have that convention at the end of the month. So by taking this all the above approach, understanding that you can build a larger movement under a Biden administration, understanding that the focus needs to be on primarying out members of the Democratic Party while also building a party outside, while also building local movements, while also focusing on unions and building up unions, while also focusing on statewide races, doing all of this at the same time. This is how you build real institutional power that can be used in the future against the party and to, at some point, take power, be it from within the Democratic Party or from outside of it. So when you view the race that way, I think it makes... I hope I'm making a better argument than Joe Biden did here for voting. Just saying, oh, it's important to vote. That's not going to do anything. You actually have to make an argument to the people that aren't already voting. They want to hear an argument. So unless you offer them an argument, they're likely going to stay home.